All right, I'm kind of glad that one was over. We played very average in a lot of areas. Offensively, not very good. No, don't run the ball as effectively as we need to. Defense held on for a while, gave up a couple big plays, allowed them to stay in the game. Good news is our coverage units on punt and kick were good, and our return units on kick return and punt return are good. So we've really stressed that over the last 10 days. It benefited us, probably helped us. Very well could have helped us win this football game. So we got to get a lot better. Not any reason for us to cancel practice, but I was happy the team rallied there at the end, played hard, made a few plays, found a way to win the football game. But we certainly got a long ways to go and a lot of work ahead of us. We had some young players that stepped up and played today. We had some other guys that couldn't suit up and play for us, and so we had a number of guys playing for the first time, really, a significant amount of snaps. Thought they competed and played really well. So got a lot of work ahead of us, and come back tomorrow night and get ready for the next game.
Mike, considering the way the game started with your offense sort of sputtering, defense hanging on for dear life, the fact that a team that's still inexperienced, getting its legs under it, to hang in there, what did you like about your guys?
You're being so nice to us, sputtering and hanging in there. We were bad. I mean, I like that you're being nice to us, though. I mean, I really do. Offensively, we were bad. We were bad offensively for really the first half, and defensively, we would make some plays, and then we would give up some big plays, you know, and it's a roller coaster. And what it is, when you have that many inexperienced players on the field, they play like this. And so we have to do a better job of coaching them and put them in position to eliminate some of that and give them a better chance to have success. But they're doing this. That's what they're doing right now. And it's not any one particular player, and then it's another guy. And I think we had 3 procedure penalties today. And we've played I don't know how many games in loud stadiums not had any procedure penalties. And we had 2 receivers jump off sides. We had a couple linemen jump. We lined up illegal in a punt formation. And that's just, you know, just being undisciplined. And that falls on me. And we'll get that corrected this week. And we'll get lined up properly and play better. But, I mean, you were being kind of nice. We just didn't play very well. You know, you get out there and this is no excuse. It's 11 a.m. and there's not, the stadium's half full and the sun's kind of on you, and it's, you know, just a lot of things that worked against us, and we need to be more mature than that. Even though we're young, guys have to get their motor going, and we got to play fast and compete. And if we're going to make a run through this league, then we're really going to have to play better and eliminate some of the roller coaster that we're facing at this time.
Jacobs catch your eye?
Seth?
Jacobs catch your eye?
Honestly, in between series, I was talking so much to the offense, I didn't pay attention to the defense that much. I wish I could have. I'm looking forward to watching him on tape.
Jeff Cook.
He plays for us. He's a walk-on. You know where he's from? You did your homework before you asked me. You were going to challenge me to see if I knew where he was from. He walked on here from South Carolina. Comes from a good home. He's got a good mama. Wanted to get away from South Carolina and come across the country. Watched us play on TV years ago on a Saturday night game, on a big game, and saw us, liked our uniforms, liked what we did, and said, I'm going to Oklahoma State. Walked on, drives his way here, pays his own way. He's now on scholarship. We put him on scholarship, rewarded him. He helps us some on special teams. He's a great kid. He's a self-made guy. He does it on his own.
He helped you a lot on special team today.
He sure does. And we were able to reward him this year. He's going to graduate. He has enough hours. He's on track, so we're able to reward him with a scholarship. You know, I've said this a number of times. I don't think you can say it enough. Any young man that's willing to pay his own way to be on a college team at this level with the price that they have to pay and then come all the way from South Carolina to do it, it's the kind of guy you want to hire someday to work for your company.
There's a huge play, him hustling down there and getting that pooch kick, onside kick, whatever you want to call it, and giving you guys a chance to get some momentum.
See, I took over kick coverage and punt coverage this week, but I'm going to give it up tomorrow. But no, we challenge those guys, and you know, we're all using youth as an excuse. You guys are, we are, and at this point, it's got to be over with because it doesn't matter anymore. And so they did a good job. Robbie had a good plan, And they're starting to understand a little more coverage and squeezing gaps and getting a feel for the return, locating the ball, not run past the ball, work sideways, rally as a group. They're getting a little bit better. But you know, the big play there was when the ball hit the ground, and he was in position because he was playing with a lot of speed. He loves to play the game.
As scary as it looks like Crabtree's thing wasn't near as bad as we might have thought there.
Again, I've not done a really good job of diagnosing injuries, and so we'll know a lot more tomorrow.
He came back in and played some more, so that's
why I say if you guys would have asked me and I would have said he got carted off, I'd have said he's probably got a pretty significant injury, and then you guys would have been on me again because you thought I wasn't telling you the truth. But we all thought it because he got carted off. So in their situation, they'll do an extensive x-ray and probably a CAT scan and some things like that tomorrow to make sure. But it's certainly better than what we thought.
Talk about Wilson's performance coming in for him.
I thought he played okay. I know he got undercut on a pass rush twice, so wasn't fired up about, and put Dax in a vulnerable position. You know, another young guy, he's never played before, and so he's kind of thrown into the fire, and he's going to have to figure it out really fast. If Crabtree's going to be out for a while, then he better learn to play, because next week we still have a game, 3 o'clock.
Coach, talk about what Tyreek's second half kickoff return did for your team.
Well, first thing, it gave us a touchdown that allowed us to breathe a little bit, and then we let them come back and score. But we've tried to get him in space a number of ways, and I could be wrong. You would have to ask the other coaches, but they're so zoned into him when he's on the field. They're moving toward him, they're crowding, he attracts so much attention that we need to find better ways to get him the ball in space. He's almost been better for us lately as a decoy at times. In the second half, when we started running the ball effectively and throwing it downfield to the single receiver, Tyreek was stacked to the field and everybody was over there, and it allowed us to play to an equal number on this side of the field and throw the ball without a safety being over the top in coverage. So that's a long answer for his return meant a lot.
We talked about your team's elite speed previously. Is that what we saw today? Was that the difference in the game? Defense, special teams, offense here and there?
Special teams was a difference in the game today. Our ability to cover and then set up returns, obviously score, and make a play on the kickoff. Certainly, because offensively, I don't think we were any better than them, and defensively, we probably played a little bit better than them if you just weighed both of them, but not enough to brag about.
Eventually, 4 down, it seemed they were tight on your receivers, but Dax started hitting a couple of throws, a couple of posts, one on the flag. That looked like an example of elite speed. Guys just getting some space and making.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with it, but what happened is when we started doing that, the first thing we started doing is ran the ball effectively. And so that allows us to throw the ball. When we're not running the ball very good, we're not a very good passing team, because their safeties did what you and we all talked about during the week, that they played a little bit more intermediate to deep. And, you know, there was times a free safety was 25 yards deep. And so they had a plan for that, and then we had to kind of make adjustments as we went, and Dax had to feel his way through. He's got to make good decisions, throw the ball better himself. So we certainly got a long ways to go.
For you guys to start having some success?
Well, 2 things. The first thing is we were stacking Tyreek to the field, and so everybody was heading that direction. And then the safety's coming down weak to try to be the extra support guy in the run game, and it allowed us to throw the ball over our head a couple times. One time to Shepard, and I don't remember who caught the other one. And then so they started balancing up a little bit, and then that allowed us to run the ball. I mean, they're either close to stop the run or they're not. If they're not and they're better than you and they whip you and they stop the run, then you got a long day.
Mike, the sequence to end the first half, you guys get down there first and goal from the 1, and then a couple fades, and then all of a sudden you run it with no timeouts. Talk about the play sequence there.
Well, we didn't throw the ball very good to start with. The one fade he tried to throw in the left corner to Aitman, it landed in the stands, and so we didn't really have much of a chance to catch that one. And so I was frustrated because of that and went for it, and I should have kicked a field goal. But I was still mad because of the last throw.
Replay official bailed you out there.
Right. I chewed on the guy a little bit on the sideline over there, and he said he couldn't see. I said, that's what I said, the same thing to you. You can't see. But they all pile up in there, and those guys are very hesitant to make a call when they come running in, and it is hard to see. we thought he got in, but you know, honestly, at that point, I was so frustrated that if he wouldn't have got in, I'd have been okay with that too. But I was glad he got in.
Have you ever been a part of a game where there's such a shift like that, where you guys scored on the last play of the first half and the first play of the third quarter?
You know, you're new here. You're from the East Coast and the West Coast, right? Originally on way up there and then way up there. It's spun your head so much being from there to there to here. You can ask all these people that have been here for 20 years. We've had more wild games in this stadium probably than anybody in this league. So just stick around. It'll be worth your ticket. I don't know if Sherman's paying your per diem or whatever, but anyway, it'll be worth it. So,
Mike, you talked about how badly your guys played in the first half, but they, like you said, they figured out a way to win. Is that part of, whether you want to say youth or inexperienced or whatever, a team has to learn how to win?
I agree with that. Yeah, there's some positives with it, and when I come off the field, I have to settle down a little bit because it's important to our staff and to me that we play sound, that we eliminate penalties, we make good decisions. If they have a better scheme than us and we don't adjust, that's our fault. But they get a chance to coach too. And if they have players that physically whip us in games, then I can live with that because of the circumstances. But when we're not disciplined, we don't line up right on punt, we jump off sides, our reads are poor at the quarterback position. Defensively, we don't stay outside on a quick throw in the flat, things like that. That frustrates me. But then at times, we've become a little bit spoiled here in that you walk off the field and in the last few years we win by 24 and everybody's upset, and today we won by 17 and everybody's, you know, sad and wants to go home and pout. So there is some advantage to learning to win, yes.
Did they blitz more than other teams that you faced so far, or was that kind of what you've been seeing?
You know, it was really pretty common. What they were doing, John, is I thought they did a nice job. I think it was number 3 to the field, and he would hang until the ball was snapped, and he would come after the snap. And he really did a nice job with that. But then our staff at halftime, Mike and the guys, they kind of came up with an answer for it, and we did something a little different in the second half. And so we could make that adjustment, and then we allowed them to do it and threw the ball over their head. So we made some adjustments, but they do a good job of coaching. I mean, that guy's been there a number of years, the coordinator. I always forget his name. He does a nice job. He's very patient. He's poised. And, you know, Mangino does a nice job of coaching. He's a smart football coach, and Paul organizes it. They have some limitations at times, but they are always very well coached, and they're scary to play because their players are in position to make plays. Very seldom do you get them out of position. And just go back and look over a number of years when we played them with really, really, really good offenses, and they played better against us than they should because they're very, very well coached and they're sound. And so we kind of knew that coming in.
So how do you assess Garmin big picture-wise today?
Average.
How nice is it to come in here and go ahead? I'm sorry.
But I mean, he threw 2 more picks, but once again, he didn't.
The one pick he threw, the route was terrible.
Right.
So what was the other one he threw? A guy on a slant. I don't want him to ever throw picks, but the slant's thrown on time. Okay, you got to lift the guy and you got to get flat underneath him. And then the one he threw over here, the route wasn't any good. And so it wasn't good, but it was better than the pick he threw the week before when he shouldn't have thrown it to the guy and he fired it right to him.
Considering some of the way the questions have gone in previous weeks about special teams, how nice is it to come in here and say special teams won the game today, especially since you've taken it over this week?
Since I took it over this week, yeah. They're doing a good job. We have a lot of young guys out there, and we've talked about this, you know. It's obviously not any secret. All you have to do is look at the depth chart. Most of our special teams positions are all freshmen, and so they're going through a learning phase, and we just don't have the depth at positions to put starters out there, in our opinion. We definitely could be wrong. We've been wrong before, but right now we need to keep certain guys fresh. Like 18, we had to take him off all of our special teams because he became a starter at corner and practiced all week, and there was a lot of learning. He's a true freshman who was playing quarterback last year, and he's playing defense, and so there was a lot put on him, and I thought he played very well. Don't know for sure, but I thought he played very well, but he became a starter. So there's a number of those guys out there. Number 7 or 31, I don't know what his number is because he switches numbers. Trey Flowers, he was really a starter today, played the whole day. So there's just some guys that are playing more than what we would want them to at that age in their career at that time, and so that's why the other guys are out there.
The youth and the inexperience make the corner.
Yeah, they're getting a little better. They were better today because this team we played today, overall, athletically, in our opinion, would be better than teams that they played poor against earlier in the season. Just in our opinion. So they're improving a little bit, but you just like to hurry it up. But, you get Tuesday and Wednesday and you review on Thursday. So,
Mike, did you have a good view of that huge block that Justin Phillips had in the kick return there?
I didn't see it. Was that on a punt return?
It was just a punter kick, and they had
You're talking
flag
about the
him,
one that
and
they threw a flag on?
Yeah,
I think it was punt.
Okay, yeah.
It was punt. And I was watching down here to see if the backside guy who was peeling back for the to protect the returner, if he was going to get his guy, because I thought if he got his guy, it'd be over with. So I didn't see it. I heard it because I heard the crowd. And I don't know why they threw the flag. I'm not sure why they threw it. He hit him right in the face. But either way, I saw the replay. Good? All right, guys, thanks.